Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 7th of December, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at the dollar. The dollar actually making this transition that we talked about, where we're into bullish territory on the daily chart. So this all points to the dollar having a better 2018. In 2017, we saw that we mostly fell for the US dollar. 2018 looks like it will be a stronger year. We're seeing upside targets here, still bearish in the short term on this chart, but the short term Ichimoku chart is bullish, and we're really bouncing on support here. So the dollar actually, it's making that transition is key. Euro dollar weakening, so in reverse we're seeing that, and we're not quite through the cloud yet, but we are. That does suggest we'll go lower. Japanese yen, also we're seeing the dollar just starting to strengthen here again as well, and making that transition on the long-term chart. So it's all pointing to a stronger dollar next year. Sterling just really struggling a bit at this 134 level, and we are bearish below the cloud here, so we are and hitting strong resistance. So looks like sterling may fall away yet. Looking against the euro, sterling weak on the short term, against the Swiss franc just struggling a little bit, and against the Australian dollar just coming back a bit. So Australian dollar weakening there. Bitcoin, well, what can you say? It's now above $14,000 this morning, up a massive 22%. So it just jumped. It'll be interesting to see how long this price can be maintained. But very hard to analyze a chart where it just goes vertical. Very unusual situation. But we'll keep an eye on the very short-term charts. If you're trading Bitcoin, the 1-minute charts, your only hope. Looking at the S&P 500, did come back a bit in the trading yesterday. Nasdaq actually still bearish below the cloud, even though we did see some majors improve, which we'll look at. The Dow coming back, it's still bullish above the cloud, and the Russell 2000 continues its fall. So just heading into bearish territory there on the price, but we still do have very good upside targets, the Russell. The S&P future down 0.4% at the opening, and the Nasdaq E-mini up 0.8%. So we are seeing potential for tech to improve in the general market to fall. FTSE 100 had a bad day yesterday. Well, it improved slightly, but we're still bearish below the cloud, and the medium-term chart is now looking more bearish, as is the FTSE 250. The DAX is also just bearish, German market. The Nikkei below the cloud, Hang Seng is bearish, Shanghai bearish, and the Sensex. So Asian markets all taking their lead from textile from the US. The Australia market also bearish below the cloud. Brent crude sitting at 61.25, just struggling to break that level, activating a new downside target back into the 50s. Does look like we will push below $60 for the year end. And WTI also looking bearish as well, back into the mid 50s. US nat gas sitting at 288, so we're really now falling well away from the $3 level and bearish. Taking a look at gold falling further as well. So we're now seeing the medium-term chart turning clearly bearish. The long-term chart is bullish. We have activated a mid downside target on the medium-term chart. So bullish long term, but the short and medium term starting to look more bearish on gold. The same for silver. Taking a look at US Treasury yields sitting at 2.34%. Apple just in the doldrums a bit yesterday, didn't really go up, but we saw Google rising, still below the cloud though. Same for Amazon, rising but still below the cloud, and Facebook still below the cloud. So US tech stocks did have a bit of a recovery yesterday, but they're still in bearish territory in terms of the cloud. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you there.